we get back to Ronald Reagan's Morning in America?
You get back to it with optimism. The same situation that I faced in New York City. When I became mayor of New York City, 65–70% thought New York City was going on the wrong track. And what I did was I set policies and programs of growth, of moving people toward prosperity, security, safety. And what we can borrow from Ronald Reagan, since we are in his library, is that great sense of optimism that he had. He led by building on the strengths of America, not running America down. And we're a country that people love to come to. They want to come to this country. We're the shining city on the hill. So we should solve our immigration issue, including illegal immigration, from our strengths, not our weaknesses. We're a country that has the greatest healthcare system in the world. It's flawed. It needs to be fixed. But we should fix it from our strengths. We shouldn't turn it into socialized medicine. Those are the things that Ronald Reagan taught us. You lead from optimism. You lead from hope. And we should never retreat in the face of terrorism. Terrible mistake.
Senator McCain, most of the public pessimism today has to do with Iraq. What would you need as Commander-in-Chief to win the war in Iraq?
I would need the support of the American people. I would need to be able to show them some success in Iraq, both on the battlefield as well as with the Maliki government. We have a new general. We have a new strategy. That strategy can succeed. The young men and women who are serving are the best of America. I believe that if you bring around about stability in the neighborhoods in Iraq and have the Maliki government govern, you are going to succeed. My friends, when the majority leader of the United States Senate says we've lost the war, the men and women that are serving in Iraq reject that notion. And if we lost, then who won? Did al-Qaeda win? When on the floor of the House of Representatives, they cheer when they pass a withdrawal motion that is a certain date for surrender. What were they cheering? Surrender? Defeat? We must win in Iraq. If we withdraw, there will be chaos, there will be genocide, and they will follow us home.
Do you need anything beyond what the president has now to win the war?
Now I think it's on the right track. The war was terribly mismanaged. The war was terribly mismanaged, and we now have to fix a lot of the mistakes that were made. Books have been written, but we have a new strategy and a new general, and these young men and women are committed to winning.
Governor Thompson, if you're Commander-in-Chief and you want to win this war in Iraq, what do you need to do to win it?
First, you have to support the troops. There's an undying bond in America that any time an American soldier is in harm's way, we have to protect him. Beyond that, there are three things that I've laid out. Number one, I believe the al-Maliki government should be required to vote as to whether or not they want America in their country. If they vote yes, it gives us a legitimacy for being there. If they vote no, we should get out. Secondly, there are 18 territories in Iraq, just like we have 50 states in America. I would require those territories to elect governments just like we do in our states. And if you do so, the Shiites will elect Shiites, Sunnis will elect Sunnis, Kurds will elect Kurds, and you won't have this internecine civil war. Third, I would split the oil reserves, 1/3 to the federal government, 1/3 to the state governments, and 1/3 to every man, woman, and child. If every man, woman, and child is getting part of the oil proceeds, they're going to have a vested interest in their country. They'll be purchasing goods, they will be investing in small businesses, and they will be building the country on democratic grounds in Iraq.
Congressman Hunter.
Yeah, very briefly, Chris, the key to winning in Iraq is standing up the Iraqi military. There are 129 battalions in the Iraqi army. We need to make sure that every one of those battalions moves into an operational setting, gets a 3 or 4 month military operation in a contentious zone. At that point, they can move into the combat field. They can start displacing American units, and America's heavy combat units can rotate out. That's the right way to leave Iraq.
John.
Thanks, Chris. Governor Romney, in that same NBC Wall Street Journal poll that Chris mentioned, 55% of Americans say victory is just not possible in Iraq. They've made up their minds on this war. Why shouldn't they have a president who will listen?
Well, if you wanted to have a president that just followed the polls, all we need to do is plug in our TVs and have them run the country. But that's not what America wants. It's not what America needs. We need leadership that's strong and that shows America what we can do to lead the world. Ronald Reagan was a president of strength. His philosophy was a philosophy of strength, a strong military, a strong economy, and strong families. With regards to Iraq, there are a lot of people that say, let's just get out. I want to get our troops home as soon as I possibly can. But at the same time, I recognize we don't want to bring him out in such a precipitous way that we cause a circumstance that would require us to come back. Because if we leave in the wrong way, the Iranians could grab the Shia South, or al-Qaeda could play a dominant role among the Sunnis, or you could have the border with Turkey destabilized by the Kurds. And as a result, you could have regional conflict develop. And with that occurring, you could have our neighbors get involved, our friends get involved around Iraq, and we could have to come back again. That's why it's so essential for us at this critical time to support the al-Maliki effort, to bring strength and stability to Baghdad, to Al-Anbar. Hopefully, there are good signs that we're going to see increasing, and we'll be able to bring our troops home safely.
Time, Governor.